This is my great-grandfather, Yossel Rosenblatt. He was the most famous cantor ever, really, bar none. People come up to me and kiss my hand and said, "You're Yossel Rosenblatt's grandson." I mean, he royalty. Here's my grandfather's PhD thesis. He set the mark really high. He spoke 20 languages. It's really hard to live up to this. He died when I was 11, and his successor was a rabbi named Mitchell Wahlberg.
I'm going to raise a halachic question.
I grew up at his feet.
Can I still listen to Pink Floyd?
He's telling you a story, he's giving a lesson. There might be only one Rashi in that lesson, but Mitchell Wahlberg takes you on this whole journey. So I grew up in that kind of environment. I was the associate rabbi at Ahavas Torah in Englewood. It's about an 800-member family synagogue. My mentor, Rabbi Shmuel Golden, was the rabbi, and I was kind of itching to get to my own place.
He couldn't really speak very well, my husband. He would get up in front of the shul in Englewood, and he would really struggle. I sat him down and said, it's my job as your wife to just be really honest that I don't think this is where you're headed. I'm not sure you're meant to be a rabbi.
And Shabbat Shalom.
Somewhere along the way, things just started to coalesce, and this rabbi presented here in a way that I had never seen him before. It's kind of hard to imagine how close maybe we came to not heading in this direction, when really maybe all that needed to happen was that this man ends up where he belongs.
Judaism has an interventionist disposition.
She's like, honey, I think you should find a new gig. And now he's an amazing orator.
Pikuach l'nefesh.
It's remarkable, really.
It's saving lives. How does the grandfather know Kiddush? Because his father taught him.
So never give up, right?
There are many, many, many families who came from places like Egypt and Syria. This is my section of modern Israeli thinkers.
Rabbi Rosenblatt has very profound, very deep historical knowledge.
Jewish law codes, Talmud.
Of not only the Torah, but other literature.
This is Behave. It gave me a lot of insight.
That really means a lot to me.
Spanish Inquisition, Murano.
I tried to integrate it into my life, day to day.
Nothing says Israel at 75 quite like bingo. When people come to Schara Tzedeck, my goal is to try and create a message. I'm giving you clues. Which is going to integrate the issues that they're wrestling with and the messages that the Torah is giving them.
We have a winner.
They bring you into the world of Orthodox Judaism. The right variety of orthodoxy is the one that keeps all 613 mitzvot of the Torah. Gordon Diamond likes to quote Rabbi Avi Baumel. He says, I'm a nudge, a non-observant Orthodox Jew. I just personally don't keep those 613, says the nudge. I'm going to choose which ones I keep, but if you ask me what's right, it's Orthodox which is right. Orthodox Judaism builds memory into ritual. It's more than history, it's part of identity. This is going to be a portable Aron Kodesh, but this is meant to represent the everlasting light. This piece is the door. We may not need to do too much on this because they're just hitting the top, which is fine.
Rabbi Rosenblatt is a very special man. I think he encompasses kindness, generosity. Most people don't even know half the things that Rabbi Rosenblatt has a hand in and is a part of.
I just thought it was going to be the coolest to have a real-life arc for a Torah that I made for my bar mitzvah.
And it actually has the words Pitchu li Schara Tzedeck, which is where we get the name of the congregation from.
You know, he's a tzaddik in every sense of the word. He's just a righteous, beautiful soul.
Okay, it goes in like this.
And so for him to take that time, he has no time. He is so busy. And there's so many people that are pulling at him to not just come up with this idea, but then sit there and work with my son, Ty, and help make this Aron Kodesh a reality. It sums up who he is. I mean, that's just selflessness and love and warmth and kindness.
The beautiful thing about Rabbi Rosenblatt as a rabbi, he's a rabbi for everybody.
It's actually my father's collection of ancient artifacts from Israel. Some of them are weapons, some of them are oil jars and lamps. It could have been in the homes of people who knew King David or King Solomon.
He's able to reach the average person. He makes you think.
This, which was from the time of the first temple.
He's a rabbi for wealthy people, and he's also a rabbi for those who need financial help. That's really important to have a rabbi for everybody.
Dr. Cyril Rosenblatt.
You have a leading rabbi and a wife who is a doctor who does a lot for the community.
Both the rabbi and Cyril were such a huge part of my husband's conversion. They really showed us the value of what a Jewish home could look like.
I would start off today just by kind of focusing on the word teshuva. So
I have known Cyril since elementary school, and for the longest time, she has always been such an inspiration.
A concussion occurs when a force or there's a hit to the head or body.
Not only is she a brilliant neuropsychologist specializing in concussion, she also has instilled such strong values in her children and really inspires the community.
There's just a spirit to this place and its people that is unique and special and deep that we're really proud to be a part of.
This is a small community where those people who may only come to services 3 times a year are daily involved in so many other kinds of mitzvot.
We look at something like Shabbat in a box. You know, we deliver over 5,000 meals a year, and there's hundreds of volunteers that help make that happen.
The vegetarian gets carrot soup.
It's really a beautiful family, very inspirational.
Stephen, all right, Baruch Rovachol.
One of the first values I learned about Rabbi Rosenblatt was that he was very inclusive and community-oriented and wanted to make sure that the people who needed us most were being served.
It's a mixed order, but it's a big family.
Chesed and Tikkun Olam is such a strong value here at Schara Tzedeck.
I came to Vancouver about 10 years ago. And one of the first people that I met the rabbi. And we went for a cup of coffee, gave me the ins and outs of the shul, and I knew this is the place for me. And since then, I never regretted that decision.
I think he's drawn a lot of people, especially younger people, to the synagogue, which has been dramatic and profound for the synagogue.
I don't know how Rabbi Rosenblatt does it every single week. He makes amazing Dvar Torahs that really connect to so many types of people.
Welcome to another video Dvar Torah. This one comes to
As a young person, I feel supported on my Jewish journey, and I feel pushed and inspired. And I feel like I always have a community to return back to if I need help or if I have questions or if I'm struggling.
We're going to talk about how to make your Seder more exciting.
If I have a stock in trade, it's about merging the Torah and the modern world. I helped the cantor create a Purim shanty. One of the things I've done regularly now is help people see the majesty of Jewish history. So we have a special Jewish history series.
Mayor Moses calls this one of the 7 great Jewish wonders of the world. This door from the Ben Ezra synagogue from the 11th century, I can't think of a fixture of Jewish life that we can go back to the days of Maimonides and say, yeah, this is what the shul looked like on the inside.
Can I open it?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I love walking every day into this building. It holds so much history, so much tradition.
We're deciding which Torah to use.
So many values, and seeing people celebrate their milestones here is incredible.
Loud and clear.
Vaydaber Adonai El Moshe Bemidbar Sinai Be'ohel Moed Be'echad.
1951, I had my bar mitzvah there. I believe I was one of the first to have their bar mitzvah in the new shul. And I'm proud to say, not only did I have my bar mitzvah, my son had the bar mitzvah, my grandsons have the bar mitzvah, my granddaughters had bat mitzvahs, and it's all because my father, Ola Sholem, said, I'm going to do something with the Schara Tzedeck.
And a lot of our members sit in their seats that their grandfathers and grandmothers used to sit in. And hopefully for many generations more, the grandchildren will continue the legacy that their grandparents started.
You can't even imagine the joy. I mean, I look down, I see where my grandfather sat.
This is where my Baba sat.
I still sit in the same seat that my grandmother sat in when I was little. It's very special.
It's really all about the family connections. I feel a generational connection with not only my parents, but with my ancestors.
We have a narrative that we're part of this very large story, which is the story of the Jewish people. And one of the things which I think is beautiful about Schara Tzedeck is the fact that this is this unique collection of people with a unique set of religious experiences who come together. And they walk into Schara Tzedeck, and there are touch points which are resonant to them, which it feels like home again.
And that's where you come back to the tradition, the legacy. All of that is the mosaic of what creates and is Schara Tzedeck.
I think Schara Tzedeck has stood the test of time, and it's, to my mind, it's as strong as it's ever been.
Schara Tzedeck is one of the most important organizations in Vancouver. You know, since its inception, Rabbi Rosenblatt has held that banner with pride, dedication, and such extreme humility, which is something to be proud of.
We have the 350 baseball hitter. We have the person who scores the touchdowns. Thank God he's been with us 20 years.
Everybody calls you Leora, but your real name is Sarah Leah. You're named after my grandmother.
One of the things we're most grateful for after 20 years is that our children had a place like this to grow up in.
Now we can turn to the one of relationships,
where those values, the value of another person, the value of what we can do for one another, and being the person that truly knows what it is to be part of a shul and part of a community.
We have a narrative that we're part of this very large story, which is the story of the Jewish people. The custodians of the Torah, the custodians of ethics that God entrusted this body of knowledge to, that have traveled all over the world and have a remarkable story. And I want people to feel themselves as part of that story, and to share that story, and to give them identity in that story, and to know the heroism and the lament and the sorrow and the triumph, all of that. I want them to have a sense of that story and that narrative and that arc.
Misha Berach Avatenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yakov Hu Yivarech et Beit HaKnesset Schara Tzedeck